Well, it's been roughly 6 months since I played Doki Doki Literature Club for the first time, and I've never been the same since. Nah, actually, I've been fine. But, it's also been a long time since I've done. A couple years ago, I did a video on Sonic bootlegs running on real hardware, and I had a lot of fun making the video, and the video did rather well. So, I thought, when I saw a ROM for a demake of Doki Doki Literature Club for the Nintendo Gameboy, I figured I better load it up on the old flash cartridge and see how it runs on real hardware. So, let's get right into it. And of course, we're starting off with the good old DMG01. Not suitable for children or those who are easily dismembered. Damn. I mean, I thought the game, when I played it, was a pretty rough experience, but I don't remember it being quite that bad. Yeah. Yes, of course I do. I wouldn't have gone through all this effort just to not play it. Looks pretty good. Sounds pretty good, too. I like the way it sounds. I will note this is not actually finished, so it only goes so far. You can definitely hear how the music's not finished. I'm not gonna go all the way to the end of the game on here because it doesn't go very far. I'll get to the end of it later. And who is that annoying girl other than... Oh, come on. I already know how it goes. Come on. Yes. She mysteriously started sleeping in a lot. That can't be a sign of anything now, can it? More than you know. And there we go. There's Sayori. Unfortunate to say that, again, this isn't complete, so Sayori's the only one in this demake. Surprisingly good looking on the Game Boy's monochrome pea soup green display. Would have loved to have seen certain other characters, how they would have looked on the Game Boy. I don't know. Maybe somebody will throw their hat in the ring and finish this game. Or start a new one from scratch. Personally, I'd love to see a demake of DDLC on the Game Boy Advance. That would look really cool. It would be a beautiful looking game, and it'd be pretty uniquely screwed up, too. With the right kind of creativity. Not going to go much farther than this for now, so let's move on to the Game Boy Pocket. Again, it would be pretty nice if there were more characters besides Sayori and MC. All the difference that MC makes, though, because we can't see him. Just for the sake of demonstration. I mean, I'm not going to be playing favorites in a demo video. I'm just demonstrating a cool little thing that I found running on the intended hardware. We're not playing favorites here. We're not doing any of that here. Wait, where did this clip come from? Go back. Okay. Anyways, now that the audience has had their fill of Doki Doki Literature Club DDLC on the Game Boy Pocket, we'll now put it in color. Yeah, so we can see how the Game Boy Color behaves with DDLC on Game Boy. You can actually tell what's just background and what's the sprite. So you can see this is just one big sprite, the Doki Doki logo. Of course, this game is just using the default Game Boy Color palette. You can see that text box is treated as a sprite. Text box and Sayori herself are both treated as background. Or background. Oh, you'll love this club, MC. Oh, you will love it. Alright, now we are on the Game Boy Advance AGB001. And it might look normal, just looking at it right now, but for those who watched the last video on Sonic bootlegs, you'll know that this one has an ace up its sleeve. Bam! This one has a screen from an AGS001. Look at that. Unlike a regular Game Boy Advance, you can actually see it. It is truly a Christmas miracle. And of course, it treats the game exactly as the Game Boy Color does. But except we could do widescreen. Whoa! I can do the super close-up. You can really see the nuances. And it's, oh, childhood friend. Oh, it's MC's childhood friend. Oh my god, who is it? Who could it possibly be? The anticipation is killing me! Whoa! If you'll remember from my last video on bootlegs, you will remember that I said I didn't have a Game Boy Advance SP anymore. Hence why I have an AGS001 screen put into an AGB Game Boy Advance. But since then, I made a purchase. And while, yes, it is pretty rough looking, this one has an ace up its sleeve. That's right, it is a genuine AGS 101 with a beautiful, gorgeous backlit screen. And it really does elevate the game playing experience. It's such a beautiful screen. Even with the teeny tiny amount of ghosting it does, it's still such a gorgeous display that holds up incredibly well. So, let's turn off the light and see how it looks. Look at that. Well, it's actually a little too bright for the camera. Now here you can really see all the nuances. With the sprite, with the little text bubble up there, that is, I believe, an actual sprite. Of course, if you opted out of color with a classic Game Boy game and just went with the black and white mode, then everything would just be in black and white. This game was definitely specifically designed for the original Game Boy, not Game Boy Color, or the Advance. So that's it for all of the actual handheld consoles. Let's go to a slightly bigger screen, because I made another purchase besides this Game Boy Advance since the last video. Alright, now we move to DDLC on the Super Game Boy, and it runs basically exactly the same as the standard Game Boy, as you couldn't separately define the colors of sprites on the Super Game Boy or the Super Game Boy 2. But you can change the color palette to whatever you like, like this for instance. And that's just about all there is to it. Oh, that's ominous. Well, anyways, not really much to see there. So, here it is on the Game Boy Player. So here's DDLC for Game Boy on the Game Boy Player, and it treats the game exactly as the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance treats it. Again, standard palettes that the Game Boy Color starts up with a traditional Game Boy game. But there's not much to this game because it's incomplete, so we'll just skip right through it. So we come back up onto Sayori, who tries to convince the MC, i.e. you, the player, to join her book club. Yeah, I'm sure it's very interesting. I say interesting in kind of a sarcastic sense, but it'll be a nice, wholesome club with wholesome people where nothing bad happens in exactly a week or so. I told you I'm not interested in joining a club. I can't read. I'm morp. But then Sayori says, no, but then you'll become a NEET if you don't get the social skills, and that's not neat at all. So we gotta get you in there. So, anyways, we go on to MC questioning what club he should go in, and then Sayori tells her, hey, I have join my club, goddammit. But then we arrive at the part where they were just about to talk about going to her club, and that's the end of the game. What the hell was that? Oh my god, what the